what actually happened to me was I ended up in St. Patrick's Mother and Baby Home, and because you broke the sin, you had to go there, you know what I mean? You'd nowhere else to go, because it was a terrible, terrible sin to break the original sin. And you know, you weren't accepted in society because you broke this sin and you weren't married. So the mother just didn't have a chance or a choice of anything at all. She didn't have a voice.
Sheila O'Byrne and Margaret McKinney campaigned for 14 hours outside the Dail last week. Sheila is a survivor and Margaret is the daughter of the survivor, Rose McKinney. They were protesting over the then proposed sealing of the records, which last night was signed into law.
Nobody would accept you. So I put myself in there. Now, not my family, and I have to say, they didn't put me there. I put myself there, because they were drowned out and dwarfed by the church and the state of the terrible wrong that I have brought onto my family, onto the neighbours, onto the parish, and the shame that was brought because you broke the original sin. How do I feel? I feel, you know, like going back then, you had to be silent about everything. You couldn't speak about it, because I remember in St. Patrick's, Navan Road, actually the Daughters of Charity and the Bon Secure nuns collaborated in St. Patrick's, and it was a Bon Secure nun that actually said to me, "Don't tell anybody that you were ever here, because you're damaged goods and you will never ever ever be accepted into society because of the wrong that you have committed." Now, we were punished in the home for the sin. We were criminalised, penalised. There were so many things done to us in the home, and we worked, and we were worked to the bone.
Tell me what it was like in the building. What was that like?
The building was cold. It was a big, tall, big, huge building. It was cold, and they, you know, an animal was actually treated better. Well, the mother was only a piece of dirt. She'll always be a piece of dirt in their eyes, in the church's eyes, and in the state's eyes, because it was made out by a certain minister for justice back then in 1974. He was the justice minister, and he made out that unmarried mothers should not be suited to have their child left with them, their babies, and these babies should be given to married couples and should be taken from them. And that minister, he's dead now, but he was the Minister for Justice. Back in 1974, he spoke at an adoptive conference about how, you know, unsuitable the mother was, and that it's not suitable for them, no matter what way you look at it, for the mother to be left with their baby.
And support.
And no support should be given at all, that they weren't the right mother to be, they're not suitable. They're not suitable. Give them to those that are, to married couples. Come on, going to break this now. Always somebody getting in their way all the time, isn't there? The mothers.
You never let anyone get in your way.
No.
Despite being on their own, they were supported by friends and some politicians like Breed Smith, Marie Sherlock and Sean Canny. Sheila was incarcerated in St. Patrick's Mother and Baby Home, where she was forced to give up her son. Rose McKinney, Margaret's mother, had 3 children in 3 different homes, including 2 in the Tuam Mother and Baby Home. Sheila describes what it was like the day her son was taken.
That day, Yeah, it is very painful. They actually made me stand on the steps of St. Patrick's for punishment to watch my son be taken, which is actually genocide. To be taken is genocide, and which is in Irish law, and any barrister will know that genocide is written in the books in Irish law. But here in the government will not recognise, and they will not admit the fact of genocide, that it was actually committed to take, which the babies were taken, forcibly taken. And these adoptions were forced adoptions. They were forced. We were never given a solicitor or given anybody to actually stand with us and say, here's what we can do for you. There was no choice. We didn't have one. And my son was mixed race, so what chance would I have? None. There was a lot of racism around us as well. And as I said, you know, even in the home, I wasn't allowed to touch my flesh and blood. They treated me very, very bad. Very bad. I mean, they actually refused me from washing my own clothes. And they wouldn't allow me touch or look at my flesh and blood. Only others, the other babies, not mine, not the child that I brought into the world. And when he came into the world, they said, what have we got here? What is this? What is this?
This is 82-year-old Rose McKinney. Her daughter Margaret stands by her all the time. Rose had 2 children taken from her from the Tuam mother and baby home, and she also had a child taken from her in the Regina Coeli in Dublin, where she spent the rest of her life married and had other children. Margaret is extremely loyal and supportive to her mother.
I know she had 3 children in Tuam, and the first one, we can't find the records for her, so we do think she's down in the pit in Tuam. And then the other 2, Jimmy and Joan. I don't think I've ever met them or anything, so, you know, so.
And this was obviously very, very difficult for your mum, and that's why she didn't take it.
Exactly, yeah, difficult for all the ladies like Sheila and all. Poor Ann O'Gorman down in Limerick, God loved them. Very hard for these ladies to come out with their stories, and then to be told that they were liars and all for years and years and years. Horrible. And then to live with that shame and not tell anyone, it's terrible. Morning. Oh, good morning, Alison. So that's all we found out so far. We've tried to find those other mothers, but we can't. And if there was other mothers out in Tuam, I'd like them to come forward, because they've nothing to be ashamed of. None of the ladies have anything to be ashamed of. It wasn't their fault what happened to them. It was the church and state's fault. And that's who have to blame. And they have to face the truth now.
Your mother shouldn't have any shame.
Oh no, I told my mother she's no shame anymore. Sheila should have no shame either. None of these people should have shame. It wasn't fair what happened to them. Oh, the guards were involved. They came down to me nanny and granddad's home with the nuns to take me ma back to Tuam, mother and baby home. They have a lot to answer for as well, the guards in them days. They do, they have an awful lot to answer for. And the Department of Justice should be involved in this as well. It shouldn't be only the Department of Children, it has to be the Department of Justice as well and the Department of Education, the 3 of them. Because they all had questions to answer.
Because your mother was under the age of consent. So
Yeah,
really,
she was raped. And the police didn't investigate it, no. All hushed under the carpet again.
tell me this, Mags.
She's doing great, she'll be 82 now next month. She wants to be here, but because of the COVID restrictions, she can't be here. So I'm here to represent her. I do think the Gardai should make an apology, not just to my mother, but to all the women, because they captured women and brought them back into these kips. That's what they done. They went with the nuns and the police and got these women and brought them back into these kips. So he should apologise to all the victims. I'm angry at what happened to her. But because she's strong, you have to be strong. She's letting her voice be heard now. She's not hiding anymore. So that's the main thing, for their voices to be heard.
she'll never ever tell you what happened.
No, she won't tell me the whole story, Alison. No, I'll never hear the whole story. No.
But she did sort of give you a glimpse recently.
She gave me a glimpse, but not too much of a glimpse, Alison, you know, so. But
But it was enough.
enough to know what she went through, God love her, you know. So I'm hoping that they won't steal no records, and they will be put into the archive, and they won't be hidden away, and it should be taught in schools, in secondary schools and colleges all around Ireland what happened in this country. It should be. Genocide happened in this country.
Maybe the world looks at Ireland like this wonderful place.
No, not what happened in it. That's why it's called the Hidden Ireland, because all the black bits they don't want people to see worldwide. That's what's wrong with this country. They'll give all the good bits, show all the great parts, but don't show the dirty parts that they want to hide. And why do they want to hide the records? There must be something in them then that they don't want to be made public. There has to be something in them that they don't want to make it public. So why are they hiding them away and rushing it so fast? Why are they rushing through a bill without any notice or without any debate, proper debate on it?
How do you feel, Mags, about Tuam?
Oh, I don't like Tuam. Oh, no. Tuam are a bad bunch. So no, they're all corrupt in Tuam, and I don't care what anyone says, they're all corrupt in Tuam.
Do you trust them?
No, don't trust them. Don't trust them.